Morning. Welcome to Kings at Home Daily. My name is Steve. I'm one of the leaders based at City West. If you're part of the Kings family, City West, Mile Cross or City Centre, then morning, welcome. If you are looking in from outside, then we're a church based in Norwich, meet across 3 locations in the city, at least normally we do. But during this time we're putting content out each day, streaming content, and then together on a Sunday on YouTube. But great to have you with us. During the week we're just working our way through the book of Ephesians. So if you have a Bible, then please head to the Paul's letter to the Ephesians and chapter 2. And I'm going to read a couple of verses this morning, verse 14, 15 and 16. So let me read those. For he himself, speaking about Jesus, is our peace, who has made the 2 groups one and has destroyed the barrier, the dividing wall of hostility, by setting aside in his flesh the law with its commands and regulations. His purpose was to create in himself one new humanity out of the 2, thus making peace, and in one body to reconcile both of them to God through the cross, by which he put to death their hostility. Now they're not the clearest of verses, are they? There's a lot in there, and confession time, it's not the first time I've recorded this video. A few days ago I did this on these particular verses, and went through and unpacked what was there, and explained and taught what was there, but just didn't quite feel right. I think it was good, it was okay, there was nothing wrong with it, but it just didn't quite feel right, and I just felt the Lord speaking to me to revisit it. So here we are, and I just want to, rather than go through and try and unpack and explain all that's there, I want to really just pick out a couple of things this morning for us at this time. I think that was the key sense that I had, that there was something very timely about what is here. And so whilst I shan't attempt to try and explain and unpack again what is in these verses, actually I trust that what I share will be helpful and encouraging during this time. So in verse 14, for he himself is our peace. That word peace, it's a word that is used a lot in the New Testament. A lot of the writers in the they will say grace and peace to you. They'll write that. It's a word that's a lot. We read about it in the Old Testament as well, don't we? We talk about Jesus, when prophesying about Jesus being the Prince of Peace, and yet we look around at the moment, and there's not much peace around, is there? Both, I imagine in the world, there's a lot of people unsettled, isn't there? There's a lot going on, a lot of uncertainty, and even for many of us, I imagine many of us are living without a sense of peace, perhaps feeling anxious about work, about finances, perhaps just having all the children at home. If you've got children and trying to homeschool and everything, the house isn't very peaceful, and it's so much going on at the moment that I think many of us could be not living in a place of peace, not knowing that kind of peace, and instead feeling anxious, fearful, and not peaceful. And yet in this verse, talking about Jesus, he himself is our peace. And yet I don't know if you're like me, then when I don't feel peaceful, often the first thing I can do is to try and fix it, try and find a solution that's going to reduce or remove that anxiety, that a solution that's going to bring me peace. If I'm worried about something, anxious about something, fearful about something, let's try and do something, change the situation that will remove that and bring me peace. And yet I believe, as followers of Jesus, that we're to first and foremost be looking to him to be our peace, looking to him. And not to say that, I don't know, if you're looking for a job, you wait for the phone to ring. Okay, I'm not suggesting that, but instead of acting out of a place of fear and anxiety, let's first of all be taking our anxieties, our fears, our lack of peace to Jesus, be taking it to him and saying, Jesus, I'm worried about this, I'm worried about my job, I'm worried about our family, our health, our finances, our whatever it is. Be taking it to him, and then we're not acting out of a place of fear and anxiety when we're making decisions, when we're, looking for jobs or trying to make decisions and things. We're not acting out of a place of fear and anxiety. We're acting out of a place of security and confidence in our Heavenly Father, knowing that he loves and that he cares for us, and finding our security in him. And just to read a couple of verses from the Gospel of John. First of all, in chapter 16, this is Jesus speaking. I have told you these things so that in me you may have peace. In the world you will have trouble. So he's reminding us, if we don't know already, we will have trouble. But it says, take heart, I have overcome the world. And then in the few chapters previously, again in John, Jesus says this, his peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. And this I love, I do not give to you as the world gives. The world, so often it gives us fear and anxiety and doubt and insecurity. Jesus says, I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not be afraid. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not be afraid. In all that's going on around us, in all the uncertainty and difficulty and struggle and pain that is going on around us at this moment, do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not be afraid. Look to him, find your comfort and your strength and security in him. And the reason that he's I'm going back to Ephesians, that he says he himself is our peace. It goes on, who has made the two groups and has destroyed the barrier, the dividing wall of hostility. It's speaking about the cross, about how Jesus dying on the cross for you and me, he's made peace with us and God. That's how we can know his peace, through what Jesus did on the cross. In the Isaiah 53, it says, this is again prophesying about Jesus, he was pierced for our transgressions, he was crushed for our iniquities, the punishment that brought us peace was on him. We get to know the wonderful peace and security of Jesus because of what he did on the cross for you and I. Lean into him during this difficult time, trust in him, go to him first, and lean into him through all of these difficulties, and find and know your peace in him today. Bless you.